Okay, and we're back.
All right, so this is again physical list. I'm listing only ones that are actually physically in my collection.
About how many do you have all? You brought everything you have Genesis or?
Not everything. These are just strictly my favorites. I don't have a whole lot of Genesis stuff anymore because again, when you're trying to retro collect, at least locally, there's only you can get slim pickings. So, Genesis had a lot of good stuff on it, in my opinion. Obviously it's overlooked because of the vastness of the SNES. But again, slim picking, so you kind of take what you can get at the time.
Yeah, but at the same time, I do believe the Genesis for a long time outsold the Super Nintendo. I think a lot of that is straight up Nintendo bias. It's like Chrono Trigger's the best game ever. That's it. The end. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And then so there wasn't as many like Square RPGs or stuff for Genesis. And then while it had more like I think Sega's pretty one of the top tier action developers.
Oh yeah.
But I never had any Sega shit until Dreamcast, and so I was the late fangirl.
Yeah.
I really love my Dreamcast. It's largely obsolete because pretty much everything on there besides, I think, although some people say the Skies of Arcadia game is just better on GameCube. I like the Dreamcast version better, but I fell in love late. It was too late.
Yeah.
But I got the Crazy Taxis, the Soul Calibers. I got all that. But so give me some X-Men goodness, man.
All right. Oh yeah. Well, we'll go back to the whole action game thing too. So I want to say with the Genesis and then the Saturn and the Dreamcast, if the game was in the arcade, the Sega versions are the ones that you want to get because they were usually the closest to being arcade perfect. So that was a big plus in my opinion on having those systems. But I want to say so the Genesis was the second system I ever got. I had the combo pack with Sonic 2.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember
That's what my cousin got.
leading up to Christmas at that time, we'd go to the malls, and that's back when EB Games was still around, so it was that and like Babbage's and whatnot. So right there, the TV in the corner had a Genesis going on.
Did you lose your mind, man?
I did, and we'll skip over to Jurassic Park right there. Jurassic Park, with the demo was playing, and at the time I was obsessed with it. And the Sega logo would come up, and then that's when the T-Rex would come up, and it goes Sega.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I lost my shit. I was like, oh my god, I gotta have that. And then I can't remember what all was around at the time, but I know Jurassic Park and of course X-Men were big that year, and that's what happened.
I'm gonna interrupt. Jason's a legit Marvel fan. Okay, he didn't just come around for Marvel Cinematic Universe. Unlike some people we know, he's old school. All right,
Yes.
recognize.
Well, half of my tattoos are Marvel related, so yes, that's blood, sweat, and tears. But yeah, so all that's going on, while mom and dad shopping in the shop next door. Yeah, you can go in and look. So I'm looking at all this stuff, and how parents would just kind of generally quiz you on some things. So yeah, that Christmas, opening up, there's Genesis with Sonic 2, and then I open up X-Men and Jurassic Park, and lost my shit.
Oh, well, I'm talking about Sonic 2 is the main Genesis game I played. That game's fucking amazing.
Oh, still is.
I like the Tails could be like the crappy player who would actually be, oh, you're invincible. Get out there and do that shit. I want to be Sonic. I want to shoot my best to hide in the corner. Dude, I love that. And there was that one music. It wasn't the Chemical Place. It might have been.
Chemical Zone had great music.
It was freaking amazing. And a lot of Genesis music has that big bass. It just sounds, you could tell immediately it's Genesis. And then before, I'll let you talk about X-Men in a minute. But let's go back to Jurassic Park, because I played a decent amount of that because my cousin had that too. I thought that Grant sucked ass, man. That's what I thought.
Well, the game's hard as fuck. There's no, back then, again, now it's the whole with the Souls game and shit. It's get good, sucker, and all that. that started back then. You know, so well, with Jurassic Park, you got to choose between playing, you know, as Grant or the Raptor, and you know, beating it as both is, you know, great feeling. But yeah, like with Grant especially, and the first stage, there's just so many random like pitfalls and stuff, because you know, you get on some of the vines and you slide to the next area. But if you overshoot it, boom, you're in the bottomless pit, you're dead, whatever.
If I remember right, as a Raptor, you had a big jump with the Raptor too, and you could just be doing this awesome jump fucking to the death. I think Super Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back was also those games where if you could do amazing shit, you probably gonna end up dead. If you just overjump your bounds, you don't even know what the hell you're going. You're just going to death.
Yeah. And then the game, at least on, you know, Grant's side of things, you know, it follows more closely with the book than it does with the movie. So there's the awesome stage to where you're going down the river and everything. So that was...
Was that level 2? I seem to remember that.
Level 2 or 3. But yeah, you know, you had to go and pick up your gas cans, and then there was random little caves to where the T-Rex would, you know, stick his head out, and, you know, if you're too close, your hat's just floating because it, you know, snatches your ass. So, you know, you have that level of, you know, fear too. So actually, yeah, that might have been one of the first games that actually kind of scared me a little bit. Resident Evil 2 was the big one I remember.
The shit your pad one, man?
Yeah. So, you know, if we do some more of these videos and we get to there, yeah, I'll say that story a little bit better. But yeah, once you get over that, you know, I still think it's a good game. Again, that's just my asshole opinion.
Yeah, I disagree with it being good. I think graphically, that game's tight. The digital actors, I don't know if it's probably post Mortal Kombat, but
yeah, I don't know on
that well, see, Mortal Kombat was like, I want to say 92. And
definitely 92, 93.
Yeah, and so Jurassic Park was 90. Yeah, somewhere in there. But I think Eddie's going to swear by the Super Nintendo one.
Well, that's different.
It's a completely different type game.
Yeah.
Which happened all the time. When we'll get to Aladdin, we'll talk about that more. But it happened all the time. It's like your Genesis game would be completely different than your Super Nintendo one. Like, completely different. And so there would be a legit reason to get both of them. I mean, provided that they didn't suck. But.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, X-Men is a badass game. Visually beautiful. From what I can remember off the top of my head, again, great music. Got to choose between your 4 X-Men. So there's Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Wolverine, and Gambit. That should be...
I see Storm.
Well, like Storm up there, you have Storm and Iceman and Archangel on the cover. There's also Jean Grey, I think Beast also. They were like your supporting characters. So as you're going through the stage, you would find basically little health icons or whatever, or special up icons, and that would be them.
Okay.
So you pick them up, and then you had so many uses of them. So they'd come out and do something like Storm. She would do like a big whirlwind or, you know, lightning storm that would clear off guys, things like that. For the most part, it was pretty fair. When you'd use your mutant powers, you know, you had the bar. You had your health bar and you had your mutant power bar. That would, you know, tick down whenever you use them. So, you know, you can't sit there and just spam it all and then... Or you could, and then you're fucked when you get to the boss.
But here's the ultimate question, man. Did you get the special edition poster inside?
I did at the time, yeah. Again, don't trade your shit in, guys. But I still remember this, too. There's this one stage where you go to Mojo World. So Mojo is basically like this Jabba the Hutt guy that has like mechanical legs. If you remember from the X-Men cartoon, he's off in this other world.
Was that the one that's all head? No, that's Mordok or Mordok.
That's Modok, okay. Yeah. Kind of the same thing, except he, you know, is an X-Men guy. But he has like a game show, an intergalactic game show. So where,
vaguely remember, was that in the cartoon?
It was, yeah.
I vaguely remember that.
So you beat him, and then you have like however many seconds to quote unquote reset the system.
Oh, I remember this from AVGN. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, you know, as a kid and everything, you know, again, we didn't have the internet and stuff. If we found something out, it was by word of mouth, or if it just happened to be in in a magazine or whatever. So sitting there,
The playground lore, man.
playground lore, yeah. So you die, you go back through it again, reset. How do I reset? You're looking at it. You literally had to press reset on the Genesis, and it reset the computer system, and you go on the next stage. I mean, just fucking awesome. And then, still frustrating because you couldn't figure something simple like that out.
Yeah, it sounds like some Metal Gear Solid type shit, or that Star Trek shit that I mentioned in a previous video, where you get a note and you have to put it in water and it tells you the code or whatever it is. The fourth wall shit, man.
Yeah.
Pre-Kojima, okay?
Yes. X-Men 2, same kind of style with, side scroll, beat 'em up, beautiful graphics. The thing about that one is, like, when you start in, you're just randomly assigned an X-Man. So, you go in thinking, oh, I'm going to choose my guy first like you did in the other one. No, you just get dropped in. And once you get past that first stage, you can not obviously switch them out. But that's one of those, if you want to play as Psylocke, because I think that was the first time you could play as her.
I seen her on AVGN just for a second, and goddamn, that sprite looked amazing. It looked fucking badass.
And then, because I think it's a snowy level, the very first one, just the blizzard effects and stuff, graphically beautiful.
Any idea about how that runs? Because I bet you that's pricey. Or is it common?
I'm not sure how common it was. I didn't pay too much for it, if I remember. I want to say maybe $10-12. Again,
that's a pretty good deal then.
But again, this has been several years, so who knows at this point. Retro gaming is all over the damn place. I think a lot of stuff has come down a lot more as things like GameCube and Xbox and all that's becoming more.
It's a generational thing. So the kids who have grown up with GameCube and Xbox OG and PS2. I think that PS2 backwards compatibility, it better be on PlayStation 5 because people are going to go ape shit otherwise. I think that's going to be the hot thing for PS2.
Yeah.
But, we were already that with PlayStation where people were demanding that the Resident Evils and the Final Fantasies get remade and stuff. But, hey, man, get in while the getting's good, dude. Just like go out and buy your 360 games right now. 10 years from now, they might be worth the fuck. I mean, every time a game goes backwards compatible, it jumps up an X amount of percentage at GameStop.
For no reason. It should drop the damn price. But,
yeah, because it'll be digitally available for sale usually.
Exactly. Golden Axe, again, with my theme of loving beat-em-ups. Golden Axe 1 and 2, absolutely love them. I have, obviously, my physical copies right there. I have one of the Sega Genesis collections that has all three of them. Part 3 sucks, by the way. And I have them individually on, my 360 Live Arcade. Okay. I absolutely love these two games.
Is that BC or do you know?
I think, yeah, that is BC.
Okay.
Which good on, Sega for making a lot of those collections backwards compatible.
Thank you, and fuck you, Capcom. How about that?
Yeah, there we go. Both of these I played in arcade, again, growing up. Just a lot of fun. Definitely, it can be cheap, wanting to take your quarters, which, that's obviously part of it. But, you get those asshole skeletons that won't fucking die. But it's cool how you build up your magic, and each level you get to does a different animation. So the Valkyrie, we'll go ahead and say, Red Sonja there. I always loved her because like her ultimate is always some kind of dragon coming down and just breathing fire and stuff all over everything. But each guy has their pros and cons. She's a little bit more balanced overall with power and magic. Your dwarf sucked with magic, but with his axe does more power. The barbarian, well, actually the barbarian's a little weaker.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Drew.
Yeah, but again, fun games. If nothing else, again, pick them up on Xbox, Steam, the arcade.
Is 2 better than 1, or?
I think it is. Longer stages. You get different. You have 2 different wizards on this one, so you have one wizard that'll give your magic boost, and the other one you can get the health pickups. You have different mounts that you can do in this one a lot more. So there's a couple different dragons. You have the little kind of like chocobo looking things that you can ride on and do attacks and stuff. A little bit more better fluidity with your attacks and movement and everything. But yeah, definitely. If you have to get one, if it's not part of a collection or whatever, definitely go with 2 over 1. But I love both of those. Stay away from 3.
I want to put the picture here. Okay.
And then let's see, we got Aladdin here. I love Aladdin. Possible controversy, but I think all of the Disney Genesis games are better than the Super NES counterparts. That's just me. Disney's Aladdin on Genesis is different than the Super Nintendo one.
All you get is fucking apples on the Super. I remember seeing the commercial. I remember it. And he's got a sword whooping ass. And then we rent the Super Nintendo one, and now he's got the fucking apple.
Yeah, you got music straight from the movie. Sounds great. Again, Genesis had great music as a whole.
I'm assuming that maybe Sega made the Genesis one, and then Capcom made the Super Nintendo. Am I wrong? I don't know.
That's a very good question.
I'm not seeing Capcom here. I'm just seeing Sega. That might explain a lot
Could
there.
be.
Oh, no, it says Virgin Interactive, which, again, that might have been just I don't know if that's a publisher or whatever.
Well, that could have been. That might be like, what was it? Trade West and Rare, and then Ultra and Konami and stuff.
Some kind of side name for something.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, I remember, beating that, and just it played really well. I mean, looked fucking gorgeous. My favorite stages were the ones where you're on the flying carpet, and
I remember some of that.
Oh, so good. We'll go down to Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Again, I'm a big horror film guy, whether it's classics to trauma cheesy shit, love it. So Zombies Ate My Neighbors, just awesome game. That was LucasArts way back when
they didn't suck.
Yep.
Konami published it looks like.
Yeah. Decent music. Gameplay looks beautiful. It's the top-down shooter. You're going around saving.
It looked like mainly more about puzzles than just straight blowing shit up. Am I wrong?
Well, later on, because there's, I think, 100 some odd levels.
No exact number Eddie's going to get you right now.
Yeah.
What the fuck's your problem, Jason?
It's like 100 or 100 something levels or whatever.
With a passcode, right?
You have the passcode, but if you do the passcode, you lose all your shit.
Oh, then so it's one go.
Pretty much one go, yeah. Unless you game genie the thing. But you start fighting, you go to Egypt and you're fighting mummies and stuff, so like silverware and things like that will do more damage to certain enemies than others. You're fighting vampires and you have little like puppet master little fuckers coming at you and like the mall level and things like that. You have basically your Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface guys coming at you that you want to use your rocket launcher or whatever on, or you have like a little clown decoy, kind of like in Home Alone 2. You pop one of them out and he goes right to them and starts attacking it so you can get away. So basically you're just trying to save X amount of neighbors in each level, and as the zombies, you lose points for the zombies actually getting the guys and killing them, which is pretty fair about giving you enough time on some of the stages to actually get to them. So it has that going for it. But as far as I know, there's no difference between the Genesis version and the Super version.
Okay.
So either one. That one, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, is still pretty pricey. I think I paid $30 for that one I got it at the right time, but I've seen it go for like $40 or $50.
Yeah, and I've never played it, but me and Jerry would just be hanging out, and then Eddie would be playing it all fucking afternoon. Yeah. All afternoon. Jerry, Eddie, you want to play something else? I'm on this one right now.
Yep. So it does it has all of like the little 40s and 50s little tropes and stuff in there too. So you have the gigantic baby and aliens and shit like that too. So it's not just strictly zombies and werewolves and monster stuff. It hits a whole.
Yeah.
It hits them as a whole. Let's see. We'll go down to my Marvel collection right there. Maximum Carnage. It's a one-player game. Has awesome music. Basically, I know this one and maybe one or two other games. There's this group called Green Jelly, I believe it was. So they would do synthesized versions of whatever of existing
music
to, I guess, get around the copyright stuff. Because I want to say they also did music for that Blizzard racing game. Was it Rock and
Roll Racing?
Yeah. So same thing. So like one of the boss fights, or maybe it's all the boss fights, the music changes and it's Mob Rules by Black Sabbath, but just in the little synthesized form.
Now, is that one 2-player on Genesis? I thought it was just one on Super Nintendo. Am I wrong?
It is 1 player, but I swear there was some way to where you actually could get 2 players. Because I'm pretty, unless I'm thinking of the second game, Separation Anxiety, which isn't as good. But I'm pretty sure there's some cheat or something where you can be both, Spider-Man and Venom playing 2 players. But yeah, it follows the convoluted as fuck storyline that I think was like 13 or 15 issues or something. It ran like nearly, I think, the whole year that year.
Now, I don't know much about Maximum Carnage besides just seeing it. I heard the new Venom movie is going to have him in it. How does he relate to Venom?
So Eddie Brock was in jail with Cletus Cassidy. That's who becomes Carnage. And I want to say the Venom symbiote, when it breaks him out, breaks Eddie out of jail, it leaves like a little sporling. And then that attaches itself to Cletus, and he becomes Carnage from there. And
okay.
Since he's batshit crazy, that's how he becomes Carnage and the evil psycho killing machine. But that was a whole storyline where I think he's putting Venom on trial for something, but he's raking havoc all through New York. So it has a bunch of like Spidey bad guys in it. Some of the Avengers pop in, like Captain America and stuff. So it's kind of like the X-Men game. You go through and you'll find like a little icon for Captain America or Iron Fist or whatever, and that's your little, oh shit, help me out button. So you have so many uses for them. But, for the most part, it's a pretty solid beat 'em up.
So even as 1 player, it's holds together.
Yeah, it's probably kind of dated.
Well, I mean, all of these games.
Well, yeah, very true. And then, let's see. Got Captain America and the Avengers. That was another game I played in the arcade. Data East did it. The Genesis version is the closest, if I remember right, closest to the arcade version than the Super Nintendo version, and I want to say it was like Game Gear and or Game Boy. But you choose from Captain America, Iron Man, Vision, and Hawkeye, and you're trying to defeat the Red Skull. So kind of like the X-Men arcade game. There was going to be a series based on that, so that's where they took some of their bad guys and character choices from, and then that kind of fell through. But they just kind of went with it anyway because they were already pretty much in development. But your typical quarter munching beat 'em up.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I want to say I didn't play that one until
arcade?
Yeah, it was an arcade.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I played that one until I actually was here in Georgia. So we had that shitty arcade like on Maple Street or whatever. I think that was the first time I played it. I obviously prefer the Konami beat 'em ups to that one, but still it's fun, especially for a Marvel nerd. WWF Royal Rumble there. That was just a fun game to play. I remember my going to band camp and playing. We would play the Super Nintendo version because one of the guys would bring that. So when we'd have our free time, we're having tournaments or whatever, playing Royal Rumble or Contra 3 or whatever. But it's fun playing through the roster guys, especially the Royal Rumble mode. You start at 1 and you try to Iron Man your shit.
Does it have all 30 people, or are they just like? Well, I mean, obviously it doesn't have 30 characters. Does it?
No. Oh. I can't remember how many there's actually in there.
I see 5. That's the 5 people right there. Hey man, we got Scott Hall. We're good.
Yeah. So no, like Crush is in there, and Bret Hart. Yokozuna's in there too.
And it's not like an arcade. It's more. Is it more like? Well, I guess a simulation is about as close as you could be back then. But
yeah. The only thing I hate about that is when you get into your grapple, it has that power meter, so you're button mashing to death. So
on every grapple.
On every grapple. So especially if you're, if that's how you do your super move, or your finisher, and you're playing against a human opponent. Oh my god.
Yeah,
you might as well just give it up.
You would probably go nuts because you have to get physically tired. One thing is generally going to be decided immediately who's going to be able to press the buttons fastest. When we would play No Mercy or whatever, so many people would get against. No, when I No Mercy, like the World Tour WCW, and we would get into the thing, tug of war, whatever it is, and then people knew they wouldn't beat me. They would just put the controller down.
Same thing there.
Yeah, it's the same thing there. And then Mario Party, I remember being something like that. I remember somebody brought over a Mario Party. And
I don't
it's
think
like, it's time to mash the A button. I'm about to own this motherfucker. Because in this game's whole career.
Well, because I want to say on this one and, the Super version too, I think you had to do two of the buttons. So depending on how you did it, you can rub your thumb raw and all that. But it's still fun. I want to say like the Royal Rumble mode, I think it had, I want to say it was like four in the ring at the same time. It might have been a little bit more. Again, it's been a long time since no, it says right there 6 in the ring mayhem. So you have 6 guys at the time, but it was always fun just seeing how far you can go in that, and play some of the other modes and stuff too. And then down there at the bottom, that's a very ugly cover looking of Streets of Rage 2. Again, when you're retro collecting, sometimes you can
just get what you can get, man.
Get what you can get. Possible controversy. I like Streets of Rage a whole lot better than Final Fight. Again, I didn't have a Super growing up, so I didn't have those games. I had this, but I remember I rented the shit out of this from Movie Gallery all the time.
Well, I've never played Streets of Rage 2. I know you're about to hit me, but
No, you're good.
This is the first Final Fight on Super Nintendo is only one player, and then it doesn't have Guy in it, and it's super hard because of limited continues. Now, I think just seeing what I've seen of Streets of Rage 2, it's not going to hold a candle to the... Was that on arcade? I don't think... Or was it?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, I don't think it would hold a candle to Final Fight, the arcade version, which is what most people play these days. Mm-hmm. But what it's seen, it would go against Final Fight 2. Now, Final Fight 3 is a different beast altogether. They really, really sat down, and there's special moves and strafing and all that other shit and hidden areas in Final Fight 3.
Oh, wow.
But the Final Fight, Streets of Rage 2 looked pretty damn good what I saw.
Oh yeah, and it's pretty linear beat 'em up. There wasn't any of that, but same thing. You have actually you had a pretty decent combo system too. And then if you use you have your official super move that you can do that would take down some of your health, but then there's other little things like you dash and then do it to where you still get that extra hit power, but it doesn't take your
meter. Okay.
Your meter.
Yeah, so that automatically puts it with more complexity than Final Fight 2. It was really 3, which hardly anyone even played, where they added in dashes and
well, that was a late
dashes.
release, wasn't it?
It was, so that game's probably expensive as balls to actually get.
I want to say, yeah, even me trying to find a Super Famicom version of that, I think was $20, $30-ish bucks. Again, it's been a while since I looked, but
EverDrive, guys.
Yeah. And then and obviously Streets of Rage 3 again is a great game. That one I want to say has the 4 characters, but you can unlock a 5th one. I don't remember if you've seen the kangaroo.
I've not seen no kangaroo.
All right, so there's I think it's stage 3. The boss is Roo the kangaroo. He's a fighting kangaroo and his little trainer. So the trick is even though Roo is, going ape shit on you because, he has fucking boxing gloves and hitting you and doing these little spin kicks and shit at you. You leave him alone, you kill the trainer first, and then defeat all the guys. Okay. And then Roo is a playable character.
All right, is that battery save, or is that just...
No, that shouldn't be battery save.
Okay.
Because
as you went to continue, you could pick Roo. Is that how that worked?
Yeah, okay. That's how it worked. Again, and then another honorable mention, it's not on here because, again, I don't have a physical copy, but Castlevania Bloodlines, another game I absolutely love. I got it on the Konami Castlevania collection right now because, again, currently I don't feel like spending 60-ish bucks to get, a box copy, which is what I would want, just me personally. Because, again, that's one of my fond memory games. I rented it all the time.
I guess Contra Hardcore would be another retarded expensive game, right? I would guess.
Well, you were there when I got my copy. It's not in here because, again, I didn't know about that until after the fact. I hadn't played it as much. That's a pretty good game too. It's hard. You have you have multiple characters that you can choose from, so that's different from the originals. Contra and Super C and Alien War. But yeah, that Contra Hardcore, I think I paid $30 for it.
Oh, so that ain't that bad.
But that was just...
It's still bad, but...
I mean, yeah, that was just cartridge only. No box, manual, anything. But yeah, Castlevania Bloodlines, another phenomenal game. That one you're fighting through Europe. Like you're going... one stage you're going through the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And yeah, I can't remember the dude's names, but you have your typical whip user, and then you had another playable character that uses the trident.
Shit. I don't know if he's related. No, Jonathan Morris is not. It wasn't a Morris, I don't think.
I don't think it was a Morris either.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't remember his name. He was Lancelot, dude. All right.
Yeah. So with that one too, you would you had kind of sort of had like a power move. I think you would hit a couple buttons together, and you could do something like the trident dude would like spin the lance or the trident back and forth, and then also you actually did have a powered up weapon that you can get. I can't remember how it is. I think you have to hit so many candles or whatever to do something specifically, but you got a power up weapon.
So just the vampire killer or no?
Yeah, it would do that, or the which just for whoever character you use. So with the whip guy, it was like a kind of like electric looking whip, and then when you would use your magic, it would do some kind of like string kill.
Here you go. This is what I think. I want to say that the whip guy was a Morris.
Could be.
Because
I think that was about that time.
Yeah.
Was it World War I or something like that? Yeah, I know it was because you fight some.
I don't think it was a Belmont. I might be completely fucking out of my mind there.
You fight some like military skeletons and shit like that later on in the game and stuff too. But again, I don't physically have that, so that's just in my honorable mention with my digital collection.
We're going way long here, but what? Streets of Rage 4, man. When you know, tell me what you know. I know I'm waiting for you to tell me everything.
Well, I don't know. See, I've been out of the loop there for a while because we hear some news and then nothing. And then a little bit more news, and then nothing. So the last I heard, it was just going to be, I can't remember the dude's name, but then Blaze. So we'll say Cody. So Cody and Blaze were going to be the only two characters. And then I think I saw something on IGN, or maybe it popped up on like GameSpot on my Facebook feed or whatever, that they were adding another playable character. So hopefully...
Yeah, it should have... I mean, you should have like 4.
Yeah, it should be like that. Hopefully it'll be couch and online co-op, because that's what those games need. it's much funner.
Yeah, they better not do no offline for something like that. Of course, then again, we did play Double Dragon 4, Jason. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I like the cheese factor of Double Dragon 4. Even with all the... Well, no, I didn't like how much of a pain in the ass it was for us to get the game started. Yeah. After that, it was a nice cheese fest, but...
All right, we're sitting at about 35 minutes. We're going to end this right now, but this has been pretty good. And we might have to do some more, Jason.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.